Tonight, Washington is watching a political fight that could reshape the 2026 election map before a single vote is cast. A major Trump-backed redistricting push just hit serious resistance from inside the Republican Party itself, and the cracks are getting harder to ignore. In South Carolina, several Republican senators broke ranks and blockaded an aggressive plan designed to weaken Democratic voting power and potentially lock in more GOP House seats. That move stand Trump allies because this wasn't Democrats stopping the effort. It was Republicans telling their own party to slow down. The bigger story here is that the battle over congressional maps is turning into a civil war over strategy, loyalty, and how far the party should go to hold power ahead of the midterms. What makes the fight explosive is that Trump's influence usually keeps Republicans tightly aligned, but now some of the conservatives are openly worried that aggressive redistricting could backfire. A few GOP lawmakers are warning that overreaching could create unstable sweeping district instead of safe Republican seats. Other fears it could energize Democratic turnout in states that were supposed to be secure. And behind closed doors, there is growing anxiety that the party is becoming too dependent on Trump's political instinct at a moment when suburban voters are already drifting away in several battleground areas. Republicans are still trying to protect their narrow House majority, but instead of presenting a united front, they are now fighting over whether the party's future should revolve around maximizing short term wins on protecting long term stability. At centers of this entire storm is redistricting, the purpose of redrawing congressional maps after population changes or legal ruling critics call it gerrymandering. Supporters call it strategic politics. Whether both parties know district maps can decide who controls Congress before campaigns even begin. After a recent Supreme Court ruling weakened parts of federal voting protection, Republican-led states moving quickly to redraw districts in a way that could strengthen GOP control in-house. Missouri courts just upheld one Republican favored map, while states like Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida are now under intense political pressure to follow similar paths. Democrats are already preparing legal challenges and counter moves in blue states, meaning this could become one of the biggest national political wars of the year. But there is why this matters because politics. These maps influence what issues get attention in Washington and which voters actually have powers. When districts become heavily titled towards one party, elections often become less competitive, and politicians start worrying more about party primaries than moderate voters. Analysts have warned for years that aggressive uh, gerrymandering can deepen polarization and reduce accountability because many seats become nearly impossible to flip. In simple terms, fewer competitive districts can mean more extreme politics. That's why this debate has exploded far beyond state legislature. Civil rights groups, voting organizations, and even some uh, conservative lawmakers are warning that pushing too aggressively could damage public trust in elections and at a time when confidence in the system is already fragile. And politically, this could become a major test of Trump's power heading into the heart of 2026. Over the last decade, Trump has dominated Republican politics by forcing party members into line, but recent resistance suggests some GOP leaders are becoming more willing to challenge him when they believe local political risks are too high. The tension is especially visible in states where Republicans already dominate and fear that redrawing maps too aggressively could accidentally create a backlash. Even some Trump supporters are quietly questioning whether constant political escalations is sustainable. Democrats, meanwhile, see an opening and are framing the fight as proof the Republicans are prioritizing power over voters. That message could resonate if independent voters begin seeing these map battles as politician manipulation instead of normal strategy. For viewers at home, this isn't just another inside Washington argument. The outcome of these redistricting battles could affect everything from abortion laws to taxes, immigration, healthcare, and even future presidential election. Because control of the House often determines what legislation survives and what investigations move forward. The district begin draw right now may shape America politics for years. And if Republicans continue splitting over Trump's approach, it could signal a deeper shift happening inside the GOP, one that may define only not the midterms but the future direction of conservative politics in America. If you like the video, please do consider subscribing the channel. Stay with me, and I will be right back with another video. Till then, goodbye.